In this video I've got a couple of Hanimex radios. A couple I found in a container with the old AWA one I did up recently. So I might as well have a look and see what they are. We've got a HR1300. They look very 80s, and being Hanimex I doubt they were made any later than the 80s, maybe early 90s. That one's kind of got a few things, do look a bit early 90s. One's a nice red coloured one. Antenna's broken. It's got a good antenna on it. Pretty dirty though. And let's see, are they made in Taiwan or something? Made in Hong Kong. Made in Hong Kong. So I think they are definitely 80s radios. If they're still made in Hong Kong. This one's looking a bit later 80s. This, yeah, hard to say. 084, I don't know if that's the year. Probably not. This one's actually in very nice condition. I mean, I don't know if that's the original cord to it, but it's in pretty good condition. It's a single insulated, so maybe. It really doesn't look like it's had much use at all. A few little marks on the controls. But yeah, surprisingly clean and unscratched. HR1225, that is. So it's a 1225 and a 1300. More than likely they work, but yeah, that's unknown. Generally the Hong Kong stuff, it certainly wasn't the highest quality stuff, but it was reasonable quality and generally lasted pretty well. If it survived the warranty period, it probably kept going until today basically. Although of course scratchy volume. Oh, we've got a dual pointers. Fancy. Yeah, bit weird, the knob's in the wrong position, I think that's why. So someone had that off at some stage. Oh, actually, I probably should check if you can even get it off. Oh, it roughly goes to the end, but yeah, it's not, pointer isn't lining up with off.
And that dizziness made her vomit, and point to that vomit and call it anti-Semitism. Your mom does the washing. It's in the Constitution.
It wouldn't surprise to see a deputy's name mentioned.
Firing all cylinders tonight.
Wilcox is having a night out, just smooth.
Yeah, it picks up fairly well. I think most of the scratchiness is gone. It's a little bit dodgy. Oh, that's just hitting the power switch there. That noise is me clicking the power switch a bit. Yeah, certainly works well. Although this one certainly looks like it hasn't had much use, if any, other than someone's busted the end off the antenna or it's fallen off. Oh, it's actually been unscrewed. That's the screw-on one. So someone's tweaked that off. And it's a sports radio, so it's got this little wrist strap. So we can run around with it by the pool, I guess. So it should be a bright yellow colour really for if it's an outdoor one. But a lot of stuff had sports on it back then, even though it wasn't really sports. So that's quite a nice little radio, nice little display piece. And yeah, Hanimex being an Australian brand. I forget what his name was. But yeah, import export is the last part of the name. Han something was the guy's surname, I think. And his company was called Han whatever, import, export. So they made that name out of it. But yeah, they haven't been in business for quite a long time, I don't think. You really didn't see the brand around much after the 80s. Oh, we'll nick the cord off the other one. And that's got a figure 8 as well. So it's good to see they've got figure 8 connectors and stuff in those days, so you don't have to run it off batteries. Yeah, it's got a fancy push on, push off. Well, that doesn't work. And it doesn't seem to do a lot. Oh, we've got some volume, some scratchiness anyway. Tone high and low, and yeah, there we go. Dicky switch. Probably a dodgy tuning cap as well. Yeah, not the happiest.
So I knew at that point we were in business, and she's just a special horse.
I think that's right. Or not. Oh, here we go. Not very good.
She like to kill them all.
Only channel it's found. Wow, that's a bit random. Is that switch causing that? Should pick a lot more stations than that. There's something. Now I've got a bit more. Oh no, it wasn't. Nothing at the bottom end though. And a bit of a rusty grill. We've got a nice silver dust cap speaker as you've got to have in the 80s. And oh, that power button didn't work, I don't think. I guess we've got to have a quick look inside it. See what a Hong Kong built radio looks like. Probably about what a boombox of the era looks like inside. But this one missed out on a cassette. A lot of people still listened to just the radio back then and didn't care for recording it or playing tapes. What else is holding it together? Something feels like we're still held by something in the middle. There's something there-ish. Has it got a clip or something? Definitely. Oh, there we go. There's a bit of tape. So it's definitely something around the middle holding it. So another bit of tape. There we go. Kind of glued together. LHC speaker. Now there are a couple of those remote type. Oh yeah, there's the pads. No wonder they're playing up. I can see how blackened they look. So not the greatest idea of switches. But that's left half. It's a black contact behind on the circuit board. The off button, which wasn't working. You can recoat these with a bit of silver paint or something. At least it explains why that wasn't working. Naturally, no connectors or anything. Yeah, it looks very Hong Kong sort of quality. Looks like the knobs are captive in the front there. And I wonder whether that tuning cap's any good. It's very much like a chewed up tuning cap sort of fault. But we also have probably a bad switch. Geez, that knob doesn't want to come off. Is that starting to come now? Yeah, just starting to... well, it was. God, there we go. I was going to take the board out, but I've got to clean this switch first before we do anything. See if it makes it better or worse. Oh, that's going everywhere. Yeah, now we've got to... Well, can we just turn it on with that? There we go. Yeah, it turns off alright with my screwdriver. No, that's the volume. Actually, I got the wrong one. Which one's AM, FM? Band and tone, that one. These slide switches from Hong Kong were certainly not the best thing ever built. Might as well do the tone while we're at it. Does tend to make them a bit hard to move. Is often the problem with them. Hopefully when it dries out they work again. Sometimes it takes the oil out of them. And that's the end of that. Now where's our volume? We've got nothing at the moment. That sounds more promising. Still a bit. Still doing that though. And we had no FM down the bottom there. What on earth that is, I don't know. The top end's roughly working, not very good reception, but God, I'll get tarnished. That's not the headphone socket, or earphone as they call it, which is probably more correct in those days, just a mono earphone or earpiece. Mounted the transformer well away from everything else, which is a good idea to keep the hum down. Now, look at that. Do I have to undo the switchboard or not? It's just that and the earphone socket doesn't want to come out. Well, there's our antenna connection. So we've got a diagonally mounted IC, TDA 1083. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of those European chips. Tend to be a bit iffy. It's got quite a bit of tarnishing on the legs. Let's see, we can, rather than unsolder the antenna, we should be able to unscrew it from the antenna screw there. And yeah, I think that's been hand soldered. A lot of them were in those days, I think. Hand assembled things. CS8611, I wonder if that's something to do with the original model. It's got a diode symbol etched onto the board as well. Now the thing I was going to look at is, can we see this tuning cap? Sometimes you can see them crunched up inside when they're acting like this. If I can see the parts. Oh, is that a crunched up bit, or is it just a bit thicker there or something? I can definitely see something going on in there that doesn't look quite right. Should just be a bunch of aluminium plates that move together. And should be nice and neat and tidy in there. Oh, that's just the plates coming through some other insulators or something, I think. Not sure. Doesn't look 100%. But it doesn't look absolutely awful either. But that's certainly one thing could be causing that sort of issue. And I'm not sure I fancy pulling all that to bits to try and fix it. Or if I've even got one with a similar tuning cap, that'll probably be my first thing to try. I doubt any of these electrolytic capacitors are faulty, but I guess we could give them a check just to make sure. But one thing you say about them is in this era they generally lasted, even though they're technically from China. They're not as bad as the later Chinese ones, so admittedly these didn't cop a lot of heat is part of the reason probably. These things rang very cool. Though with a TDK chip in there, who knows, maybe that ran hot. I think that's one there, yeah, measures like one. Another one there, yeah, definitely. At least some hand soldering in here because the blobs are all different sizes and yeah, nowhere near as neat as a wave soldered device. Yeah, they all seem to measure okay. Up in there somewhere, maybe there. Yeah, I suspect that might be a faulty tuning cap. Yeah, no sign of any dry joints, so at least that hand solder stuff generally seemed to last if they got it right in the first place. It tended to last the life of the unit, but these could have just been sitting on a shelf and barely moved or anything, so might not be saying a lot. Cobwebs and stuff in there. It's a wonder that signal goes through that socket. It's so tarnished. It's one thing they didn't do is coat that sort of thing very well. Got a rod antenna under there. Yeah, unfortunately it's not really worth wasting time trying to repair the thing. And that was the problem with these things, generally not worth fixing unless it was just some obvious little power issue or loose headphone socket or something. Let's see if we can at least turn it on and off now. Yeah, she's pretty rough, this one. Anyway, it's not exactly mint condition. Oh, we've got to get these. That's going to be the fun bit, getting all these in the right position. Turn the volume to minimum. Switches to the left. Working? Seems to maybe be. Oh, put that black bit back in, didn't I? Oh, there is where it goes. Oh, so that probably should be about there, should it? And that should be about there. So I've got to slide them not fully to that side. I guess makes sense. Uh-oh. Where'd the bloody sound go? Maybe I've buggered up the headphone socket now. It must have been that bit of dirt keeping it going. So it's on. That's off. At least that works. Or has the volume missed its spot? It seems to have moved. What have we done to it? Yeah, that's not at minimum. Well, one way to find out. Turn it on with the cover off again. Sounds pretty dead. As in no sound at all. Speaker's still connected. Have we stuffed up the headphone? Oh. Yeah. Well, I shouldn't have mentioned it, should I? just dusting the cobwebs out of it. Ruined it. Should really turn the power off, but let's scratch it up with the screwdriver a bit. That seems to have done it. That should be there. So we added an issue to it.
Working on her rehab. And now in that defensive line, she's one of...
Oh, that must be the ABC, I think. There it went. That's 1080, I think. I think the frequencies are on spot on, but they just doesn't tune the lower band. Oh, it should be a couple. Oh, sorry, this is deaf, isn't it? Yep, worse than before now. Right, that thing's not happy at all now. Have to switch that. Hook the antenna back up. It did have a lot of glue on it, so I wonder if it did hook up. Not a good sign. But the more, oh, maybe that was actually disconnected. I thought it was still attached. It's got a lot of hair and stuff in there. God, lovely. No, not working. I'll give it a quick, oh, put the screws back in and then give it a quick clean up. That's quite a bit better than it was. A bit shinier and neater. Very sort of 80s and even 90s styling. That's a bit square for the 90s. I would have rounded it off a bit. And that's a nice looking little radio. But I'm not going to bother doing any more with that one. Oh, I probably should have cleaned those buttons as well, would it? Made it look a bit better, and down in around those controls, and yeah, the knobs themselves need a good scrub. But at least I know what the story is with them. At best I was only going to use them for display purposes. That one probably could be fixed with another tuning cap. If I find another one in something, there may be a radio board around here somewhere. I might think about doing it, but the amount of work, it's probably not that bad. You can just put the dial cord across to one side on that thing and there's not much to it. Probably not that hard to change one. But I'm never going to use the thing for anything, so not sure I'll bother. But at least I know the story with them. That little red on thing will make a nice little display piece. Not so, that one's pretty bland really, even though it's got a bit of that purple and green and the triangle shape and all that. Very much the sort of artwork, the graphic design and stuff being done around that era, sort of aesthetic you see in advertising and on things like this and in printed material. You never forget that era if you live through it. And yeah, some of this went into the 90s as well. It's got that kind of Microsoft type aesthetic to it as well. A lot of stuff went that way. Probably Dick Smith catalogues and all the stuff of that era would be in the 90s, still having that sort of thing. But yeah, a couple of nice little Hanimex ones. Worth checking. they've been put away for ages, so time I probably sat them somewhere and turned them back into proper dust collectors again. But that's all we'll do with that for now, so thanks for watching.